I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, as per promise, I'm going to be explaining about this one story from the New Orleans Vampires, History and Legend, written by Marita Woywod Crandle. If I'm even saying that right, so I'm sorry if I'm not, you know, if I'm not pronouncing your name out properly. But the story is called The Stranger with a Cane, My New Orleans Vampire Experience. I don't know if it was you, Marita, who experienced this, but I must say, that my vampire experience was quite similar. Not the same. So, it's like, but I must say that whatever, if this did happen to you, then you and I have maybe something in common. But then again, I hope you're not a vampire like how I am. But So, this story is mostly about how this woman, or the owner of Boutique du Vampyre, if you guys have even heard of that, because that's where I think my human went to, or maybe it was a different bookstore. But there's a store in New Orleans called Boutique du Vampyre, and it was actually, created, or it originated around 2003. And the owner of that shop, you know, yeah, was just, hanging around, and she has this dog or something. Well, let me just make sure. What was it? Oh yeah, I opened Boutique in 2003. So, anyway, so she owns this dog. Let's see. Well, anyway, so she owns this beautiful black dog, and whenever she would kind of be, somewhere in the back, she would be able to see her dog, laying on the ground. And whenever humans would come into her store, then, the dog would set up just to kind of, let her know, okay, you have, visitors or company or potential, buyers. And so, and Boutique du Vampire is known for having handcrafted items, just like candles and stuff like that. So, but anyway, let's see. Okay, so it happened in the evening, so it makes sense. So, she was kind of in the background, and just kind of, probably doing something, and suddenly the dog, sat up and looked over at this strange guy with a cane, and he just, looked so elegant, and she thought that he could probably be a real vampire, just how elegant this person looked. And well, this person was obviously a bit on the quiet side, but what was interesting about that dog is with other humans, the dog would not growl, only just, look up, and was very sweet. But this time the dog growled. And so then, yes, so, she tried to, engage with, this, person who might have had a Romanian accent. And, and suddenly, the man asked, "Do you have the history of the vampire?" As he was, looking through her bookcase, and she said no. And so then, he more or less just kind of sauntered out, out of the store. And just around that moment, her husband, or her boyfriend, Steve at the time, who became her husband, he more or less, showed up, and she was telling him about this strange man that she met or saw, and who may have been a vampire, or to see if he noticed him. And he said, no, I didn't, come across anyone. So it might have been a vampire. But the reason why this story scared me is, if you guys remember, the video I created on how I became a vampire 300 years ago, similar experience. It's not the same, but it was similar because, it's like I was also in my tarot shop alone. I was, pretty much cleaning up. I don't know what she was doing at the time, but it also probably happened in the evening. I just don't even remember that much about what happened, except for that it just really happened so fast. But, yeah, it's like how this strange guy, also came in and was also looking at, all of the things, all the little trinkets I had. And so, and then, the guy at least asked me for a tarot reading, just like how, this person asked about the history of the vampire. I mean, but at least, I never knew anything about vampires at the time because, of course, they probably, as far as I, remember, never really existed, or maybe they were just all hidden in different countries for all I know. And how, it's like how I just only remember how he had bloodshot eyes and his teeth were just so white, just really, it was just so, oh God, it just really scared me. And that's why, when I read this, story, I told the human guy about that. I said, doesn't this sound familiar? And he said, it could be the same vampire. And that really worried me. I don't know if this story is accurate. If it is, I'm just wondering if, I hope not, if he's still out there in modern times, because this book was published in 2017, which is about 7 years ago. And, I've been a vampire longer than 7 years. And, it's like I've when you've seen anything, normally my senses are quite sharp, but I could not sense him, whatever. It's like that's why when I heard the word or name Dracula, all of these humans that pretended to be these Dracula, characters, I first thought, oh, maybe it's him. Maybe he's out hunting again. Maybe he's trying to look for me. I don't know. But ever since I've not noticed anything about, the vampire who turned me. But then when I read the story, I thought, what if it's him? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Okay. I'm not going to scare myself too much because, it's around the Halloweeny type, moment, but I'm just wondering. And, or unless if he even subscribed to this channel, oh my goodness, that would be really, oh my goodness. If you're out there, but I'm still here. I'm still a vampire. But yeah, when I read that story, I thought, oh my goodness, no, maybe it's, my human guy was just trying to, pull a prank on me or something. I don't know. I mean, I just know that sometimes I get a bit skittish, around these types of stories. But, that's why he purchased this story for me, or this book, The New Orleans Vampires, because, maybe, it could even be a guide to find the vampire out there. But, as I was reading through this story, there was actually some fascinating stories about the Casket Girls. If you guys have even heard about that, which is actually a true story. And even about Jacques Saint Germain. Also, that was known for being maybe a vampire. I mean, I've never met him because I was more or less still slumbering. And I was actually just trying to keep myself distant from any potential vampire type, any kind of vampires out there. But I just kind of wanted to share this story with you and to see what you guys think, if it even sounds similar to what I've been through, and if it even just looks or seems similar to, or maybe if he's still out there. Oof, creepy, creepy, creepy. Now, I shouldn't be scaring myself, right before I we'll be going to sleep in a few hours before the sun rises. But I just wanted to share this story to see what you guys think about that. And feel free to join in on the discussion below. Wow. But anyway, I just wanted to say, well, thank you guys so much for supporting me, joining me. And I look forward to hoping to make your dreams and futures, come true. And I just love you all so much.